Howard Manning, co-counsel for plaintiffs as well.
Will you administer the oath, please?
Jackson, would you raise your right hand, please? You swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now under consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, what is your occupation?
Entertainer, dancer, singer, songwriter.
How long have you been an entertainer?
Since the age of 5.
Without going into too much detail, could you tell me how you started as an entertainer?
Well, singing around the house, dancing, making noises, sounds, making my own rhythms, making my own music, singing, that type of thing.
Do you remember about how old you were when you started performing professionally?
Oh, maybe 10 years old.
What was the name of the group that you performed with when you first started?
Jackson 5.
Now, who was in the Jackson 5?
Marlon, Tito, Jackie, Jermaine, Randy. Yeah, that's it.
At some point, did you become a solo performer?
Yes.
Do you remember about when that was?
Well, I did solo work before. Songs like Ben, Got to Be There, Rockin' Robin, I Want to Be Where You Are. All these are solo songs while still with the Jackson 5, not meaning I've left the group.
Now, you said one of your professions is a songwriter. When did you start writing songs?
I started writing songs, as young as, let's say, 8 years old, 8 or 9.
Have you had songs that you've written recorded?
Some, yes.
About how many songs that you've written have been released?
Oh boy, I've never counted. Probably over 30, 40.
And again, without going into too much detail, have you ever won any awards?
Lots of awards.
Could you give me some of them?
Well, there's Grammy Awards, there's American Music Awards, there's NAACP Awards, Black Caucus Awards. There's all kinds of awards in my field. Excuse me, I know that kills the microphone man.
The case that you haven't been feeling well the last few days?
Yes, it's very true.
You had some oral surgery?
Yes.
If at any time you're not feeling well or you're uncomfortable, would you let me know and we'll take a break?
I sure will.
Thanks. What was the first song that was released that you wrote, if you recall?
A song called Blues Away on one of the Jacksons' albums.
Do you remember which one it was?
I think the album was called either Going Places or Destiny. I'm not sure.
A solo artist.
Yes.
Can you name them for me, please?
Ben, Got to Be There, Music and Me, there are a couple of others on Motown. I can't think of them right now. Then there's Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous.
Can you recall when the album Off the Wall came out?
70-something, if I'm not positive.
Let's see if I can refresh your recollection. I hope this is a little easier to read. If not, we'll move on again.
'79.
Do you recognize the document that I'm showing you?
Yes.
What is that?
The cover of Off the Wall.
Did you write any of the songs that were included on the album Off the Wall?
Yes.
Which ones?
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And Working Day and Night. And I co-wrote one with another musician called Get on the Floor.
Who is that other musician?
Whose name is, oh boy, I can't think of his name right now.
Well, that's okay. Did the group The Jacksons also do an album called Triumph?
Triumph, yes.
Do you recall when that was?
No.
Let me take a look at this document and see if it... It's okay. See if the document that I'm showing you refreshes your recollection. What is the document that I'm showing you?
The Jacksons, says Triumph, 1980.
Is that, what is it? Is that the cassette cover?
It's a cassette cover.
Mr. Jackson, did you write any of the songs that appeared on the Triumph album?
Yes.
Which ones?
I co-wrote Can You Feel It with my brothers. That's What You Get for Being Polite with my brother. All Night with my brother. Jack Steele, I think it's called, my brother. I think there are a couple of others. I just can't think of the names right now.
I'd like to turn, Mr. Jackson, to generally how you write songs. Can you tell me what process you go through when you're writing a song, if there is a general process?
Well, the process I go through is songs kind of just come. They create themselves, like I've said before. I'm just the source through which they come. And it's a beautiful thing. It's very spiritual. It's like standing under a tree and letting a leaf fall and trying to catch it. It's that beautiful. And what I do is it comes into my head. I could be walking along, you know, on a road, or I could be sitting on a bench at Disneyland or something, eating peanuts, and there it is, it's in my head. Or I could be in the shower, or I can wake up, like when I did when I wrote We Are the World, and there the song is. It's right in my head, the entire composition, you know. That's how it happens.
Once you have the song in your head, what do you do next to get the song?
I go to a tape recorder and I put the sounds down orally with my mouth, making sounds of how I want the bass or the strings or the drums or each part to go, the way I hear it. Because the key is to get exactly what you're hearing in your head on that tape.
You realize that one of the songs at issue in this lawsuit is a song called The Girl Is Mine? You aware of that?
Yes.
Who wrote The Girl Is Mine?
I wrote The Girl Is Mine.
What album did The Girl Is Mine appear on?
Sorry. That's the, sorry, the Thriller album.
Was it also released as a single?
Yes, the first single off of Thriller.
The lyric, what's The Girl Is Mine about?
It's very simple. It's two guys kind of quarreling over the same girl, which happens. And no, she's mine, no, she's mine. She loves me, okay? You know, that type of thing. She always looks at me, that type of thing. And they're just quarreling over the same girl. So that's what it's about.
How'd you get the idea for that, what you've just described?
It just came. It just came. Quincy said to me, you know, write a song that you and Paul McCartney can sing together. So, I guess I went to sleep, and when I woke up the next day, there it was, and I ran to the tape recorder, and I started to put down what I heard in my head.
You mentioned Quincy. Who's Quincy?
Quincy Jones is a producer, songwriter. He's a really great guy. He's wonderful. I love him.
Have you worked with him before? When did you first work with Quincy Jones?
I first, I'm not positive. I think I was 9 years old. Yeah, I was 9 years old. I met him with Sammy Davis Jr. I think it was at Sammy's house. And that's when I first set eyes on him. And I never knew that we would end up working together professionally. And then we did The Wiz, which was in New York City. And then after The Wiz, we did an album called Off the Wall.
The Wiz was a motion picture?
Yes, Universal.
Now, at some point, you made a tape recording of The Girl Is Mine, a work tape?
Yes.
I'd like to play for you a document that's previously been marked as Exhibit 489, and what I'll do is give this to the reporter after we're done so that he can hold in his custody. And I'll just play a little bit of it at first, Mr. Jackson, and ask you to tell me whether you recognize Exhibit 489. My question is, I'm going to play Exhibit 489, and again, Mr. Jackson, ask you whether you recognize it. I'll just play a portion of it. I'm going to stop the Exhibit 489 for a moment and ask you, Mr. Jackson, whether you recognize that.
Yes, that's me writing the parts to The Girl Is Mine, creating it. Sorry.
What were the circumstances under which you started making Exhibit 489?
Well, just a tape recorder there and making sounds like...
Objection. Are we going to have, is this
right in my
objection?
dreams, since I met her
Objection.
from the
I have an objection.
start.
I have an objection.
Well, that's how I did it.
How did you how did you come to you may have told me already, but I don't think you did. How did you come to get the song, the music on Exhibit 489 in mind?
Like I've said before, songs create themselves. It just come out of me. You know, it just come from inside out. And I think I'm just the source through which it comes. And you asked me how I created, and I started to perform to give you an example of how it's done, of how I create songs. And when I create my music, I make these sounds. I wrote a song called Who Is
Objection.
It?
Do you recall where you were when The Girl Is Mine, the song The Girl Is Mine came to you, Mr. Jackson?
I think I was at the Encino house or a condominium, because we were rebuilding the Encino house and staying in a smaller place.
Let me play for you some more of Exhibit 489. I'm going to stop it at some point and ask some more questions.
Doggone girl is mine. Yeah, that's The Girl Is Mine.
Objection.
Doggone girl is mine.
Is there
Mr.
a question
Jackson,
before the...
Will you show us what you were doing on that tape?
Yeah. Every night she walks right in my dreams, since I met her from the start. I'm so proud I am the only one who is special in her heart. The girl is mine. The doggone girl is mine. Don't waste your time, because the doggone girl is mine.
When you were making some sounds with your mouth, what was the purpose of that?
The sounds are the rhythms that I make. I wrote a song on the Dangers album called Who Is It? And what I do is I go to a tape recorder and I put down the sounds the way I'm hearing it in my head. And I'm hearing the bass, I'm hearing the percussion, I'm hearing the drums. And the Who Is It? Like, it goes, bum, that's how
Motion
it's
to
done.
strike.
So what I
Move to
do is
strike.
I go to a tape recorder and I just put exactly what I'm hearing in my head down on tape, and that's how I pretty much do it.
Would you briefly show us how you made the rhythm sounds on the Girl Is Mine tape?
Sure. Like that.
I'd like to play.
Girl is mine. Sorry, my voice. I'm really hoarse. At a concert last night. My throat is
Objection,
really
move to
bad.
strike.
No, I've stopped the tape. You were singing some lyrics and not others. Is that right?
Pardon?
You were singing some lyrics but not others.
Yes.
Why was that?
Because certain words come into your head at a certain time that are fitting for the melody. Certain words come with the melody at the same time that it's created. You know, heal the world. I mean, I didn't think about it. It just came. Make it a better place. So it came with the melody. Heal the world. And I thought about it. Wow, that's nice. Heal the world. Let's heal our planet.
Let me play some more of Exhibit 489.
No, she mine. The girl is mine. Doggone girl is mine.
I'll stop there. You were making some noise where you just laughed. What were you doing there on The Girl Is Mine?
I was imitating a Moog bass where you play the bass on a keyboard, but you have this little, it's like a stick where you can go, like noises like that. Do 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 do, like that.
Thank you. You're singing some high notes there.
Yeah.
Jack.
What were you singing at that point, just before I stopped the tape?
I'm singing what I hear over the chorus, like a string part. Da 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 da. The girl is mine.
Doggone girl is mine. See how she's hanging high. She's hanging high and low for me. She know what she's done. She knows that is what to do.
You just sang. Did you just hear some words on the tape?
Yeah, that part of the song I never used
Why not?
because it went in another direction, and I can tell by listening to that where it's gonna go. It's probably gonna go da 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 da, because it's most likely to go in that direction. I haven't heard this since then.
I know that I can be.
There it is.
She's about the side of me. She just I her so sweet.
Objection, there's no question before the witness.
I heard these so long. Girl is mine.
Okay,
part were you singing just before I stopped the tape?
Counter lines, musical counter lines that can go against the main part. It could be a keyboard, it could be a flute, it could be a string part. It's like a tapestry of sound, which is what the law of music is.
Continue playing exhibit 489.
On the piano, it's like this. Do-da. It starts off do-da.
What were you doing right there? What was
It's
that?
creating another part that I heard, which I did do on the demo, which I played myself.
Well, was there a particular musical instrument that you were
It's a piano. It's accenting. Like that.
You love her so much to me, but I never kept it back together mine.
Okay, I'm just going to play some more of exhibit 489, Mr. Jackson. Why don't you wait for my question?
The bass are that.
What did you say right there?
Strings.
And what did that mean?
It's the part that would go over a verse, like a second verse, which would climax the song, which would build it.
Were you imitating a particular instrument when you made that sound?
Yes.
What?
Strings. I haven't said it. I go strings.
Those are strings.
Stop. I'm going to play more of exhibit 489. Yeah, I'm playing more of exhibit 489.
Piano.
What did you just say on the tape?
I'm not positive. I think it said piano or something. What I'm doing now after
Let me
creating...
ask you, what are you doing now on the tape?
Okay. After creating the melody, I'm now creating the different sounds that I want to go with the melody. What each instrument should do to create the song.
Play more of exhibit 489.
Guitar.
What were you doing there?
Creating a French horn part, which I never used. Da 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 da.
Thank you.
That could be soft horn.
What did you just say
I
there?
just said that could be soft horns.
Continue with exhibit 489.
I can tell the way she in her head, but she knows goodly fine. And she talks to me safe in her bed, and I know she on her mind. The girl is mine. Do 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 do. The girl is mine. And don't write this song. Don't write anything. Let the song create itself.
That's my law.
Let me back the tape up slightly. And I do want to.
That's what I've been saying.
And don't write this song. The girl is mine. And don't write this song. Don't write anything. Let the song create itself. Let the strings tell you what to do, where they should come. Let the piano tell you what chords to hit. What are the fills? Let the bass tell you what it should be doing. Everything. Let it create itself. Let it form. Let it do what it wants to do. Don't force upon the song. Let the song force upon you. Let it tell you where to go.
Okay, what did you mean by what you said on the tape?
What I meant was, a song creates itself. I'm just the source through which it comes. It all creates itself. When a song comes to me, I'm hearing the strings, I'm hearing the bass, I'm hearing the drums, I'm hearing everything comes as a package. It's like catching a leaf that falls from a tree. It's the most spiritual, beautiful thing that can ever happen. And sometimes I just get on my knees and I pray to God out of thankfulness that it happened, that it came to me. And that's what I'm saying. Let it create itself, because it's trying to create itself.
I'll continue with Exhibit 489.
Punchline, that piano feel that goes do 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 do. That's harmony with that voice harmony, which do 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 do.
What'd you say right there?
Some type of harmony part. Or the girl is mine. Do 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 do. What I'm trying to do is, what I'm hearing in my head is some type of counter line to build the chorus. Because in songwriting, you should go from the verse to the chorus. And when the chorus comes, it should be like a flower blossoming in your face. So to build that and to make that happen, you have to add in other sounds to make it refreshing and wonderful. So that's all that is.
What's the bridge of a song?
I love you more than he.
Objection.
I was asking you a more general question. What is a bridge?
What is a bridge?
Yes.
A bridge, what a bridge is to take you from A to B. It is to take you from the verse to another part. It is escapism from hearing the same mundane, trivial, ordinary thing that you've been hearing all the time. Because the ear gets tired of hearing the same sounds. So what a bridge does, it takes you away from all of that. Then when it finally comes back to what you were doing before, it's stronger. It's much stronger.
Does the girl... I'm sorry. Finish your...
It has a much stronger effect.
Does the song "The Girl Is Mine" have a bridge?
Yes, it does.
Could you sing that for us?
It goes, I love you more than he, take you anywhere. And I go, but I love you endlessly, loving we will share. So come and go with me to the town. But we both cannot have her, so it's one or the other. And one day we'll discover that she's my girl forever. Don't build your hopes to be let down, 'cause I really feel it's time that she tell you I'm the one for her. That type of thing.
Let me continue, Mr. Jackson, with Exhibit 489, and I will ask you a question at some point.
Don't be mine. Here's another bridge part. For instance. Take her anywhere. She I don't really care. I know that I do. She can go with me, take me anywhere. I feel she will see the girl. She can go with me. She can go with me, take her anywhere. Don't I would sure to be if to really care. She can go with me out of the town. Why? It's a slight change. She can go with me. Da, da. She can go da da da. Yeah, that's it. She can go with me. Da 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 on the down. She can feel with the breath you eat. I hope to say hello to her.
The segment that I just played, what were you doing there?
Creating, or discovering, I should say. Because I try not to invent. I try to discover what's there. And I'm discovering where the song wants to go. And it's the bridge. It's the bridge of the song. And it's these changes that it reminds me of a song I just wrote recently called Stranger in Moscow in Russia. And I went through the same thing, trying to dictate into a microphone what you're hearing in your head. It's very difficult sometimes because you can't, you only have one voice, but you're hearing full chords. So it's a very difficult thing to do, but you just do your best.
What's a chord, Mr. Jackson?
What's a chord?
Yeah, in music.
A chord is harmony. It's sound that's pleasant, something that can be pleasant to the ear. Music.
Let me just state for the record, I'm playing Exhibit 489, and at some point I will ask you a question about it, Mr. Jackson.
Just to see it's in mine, the girl is mine. Do 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 do. The girl is mine. Do 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 do. The girl is mine. Do 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 do. The dark girl is mine. Do 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 do. Now the chorus of the bridge is da-dee down, da-dee down, da-da-da.
What did you just say there?
I'm saying the chords to the bridge. I'm now just bringing out what I think the chords, just defining into my head what the chords should do to accompany the melody. So, which is very important.
I'll play some more from Exhibit 489.
Down, and on this part, da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee is wow, and another.
Mr. Jackson, what were you doing there?
I'm making background sounds, which I did on the demo, which is just one of the notes. Just a harmony part. I think there's like 6 different harmony notes. That's just one of 6.
I'll play further from Exhibit 489.
What is?
What were you doing there?
Same thing. It's a harmony part that goes against the other harmony. I'm creating different notes, which are harmonics, to go against the music. I'm creating all the harmonies and all the sounds, each individual sound, which make up the whole of The Girl Is Mine.
Play further from Exhibit 489.
When the song first kicks off, I can hear some horns in the front. For instance, this is how the music goes. In the front, do 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 da do do boom boom do 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 boom boom. You horn da da do 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 do. Soft horns.
What were you doing there?
Creating what I heard at the time, French horns, which are soft horns, which I felt should have gone at the time in the beginning of the song. That type of thing.
She can go with me, take you anywhere. Wah, ba, 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 ba. Wah, ba, 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 ba.
What part of the song is it that we just heard?
You just heard the bridge.
She can go with me out of town, messing around. Because we both cannot have her, so it's one or the other.
There it is.
Don't really hope to be met.
What did you just hear?
There it is. That's what I was looking for. It's the fire that builds coming out of the bridge. But we both cannot have her, so it's one or the other. And one day you'll discover that she's my girl forever. And don't build your hopes to be let. So it's coming out of the bridge.
You okay, Mr. Jackson? You want to take a break?
My mouth hurts.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, at the break, did you find it necessary to take a pain medication?
Do I find it necessary?
Did you, at the break, did you have to take a pain medication for your pain?
Yes.
Real quickly, want to ask you about a cassette tape that's been previously marked as Exhibit 492, an exhibit that I'll give to the court reporter on completion of the deposition or a break. I just want to play a portion of it for you and ask you whether you recognize Exhibit 492. I'll stop it there. Mr. Jackson, do you recognize Exhibit 492?
Yes.
What is it?
That's my original demo of The Girl Is Mine.
Does that demo use any of the material that you sung when you created the work tape?
Yes.
After you did the demo for The Girl Is Mine, what happened next in connection with the song?
After that, I played it for Quincy, and he loved it. He thought it was perfect for Paul and I. And we played it for Paul in Arizona, and Paul loved it. We recorded it.
Was it commercially released?
Yes.
Did anyone make any changes in the studio?
Were there any changes from that?
Yeah.
Other than that? Yes.
What?
There was a guitar lick that's different that was added.
Any changes to the bridge?
Yes, the bridge was extended a little.
Who suggested that?
I think it was Quincy, I think.
Mr. Jackson, before this lawsuit was filed, did you ever hear a song called Happy Go Lucky Girl?
No.
When you wrote The Girl Is Mine, did you copy from anyone else's song?
No.
Was The Girl Is Mine written by you and you alone?
Written by me and me alone.
Before we go on to the next song that we're going to talk about, I'd like to ask you some questions. Do you know anybody named Robert Smith?
I've heard of the name.
Where'd you hear the name?
I don't know.
Do you know anybody named Clifford Rubin?
Doesn't ring any bells.
Do you know Raynard Jones?
Yes.
How do you know Raynard Jones?
A friend of my brother's, I think, over the years or something.
Do you consider him a friend of yours?
No.
Why not?
Well, a friend wouldn't do this, would he?
How about in the early years? You ever think of him as a friend of yours?
Not really. He's not my age. I mean, he hung out with my brothers. He's much older than I am.
Over the years, did Raynard Jones ever visit your family?
Yes.
Under what circumstances?
Hello, goodbye.
Do you ever recall Raynard Jones playing you songs in your studio in Encino?
No.
Do you ever copy any songs provided you by Raynard Jones?
No.
Ever copy any songs written by Robert Smith?
No.
I'd like to talk now about the song Thriller. Are you familiar with the song Thriller?
Yes.
Who wrote Thriller, Mr. Jackson?
A guy named Rod Temperton.
Did you have any role in connection with the song Thriller at all?
I sang Thriller.
Do you have any role in writing the song?
No.
When did you first hear the song Thriller?
I first heard the song, it was a different title. I heard it in Encino, at my house in Encino. It was under a different title.
What was that title?
Starlight, Sun.
And who brought you the song under that different title?
Rod Temperton.
Did he come to your studio? Did he come to your house alone? Or was he with someone?
He came with Quincy.
Before Rod Temperton brought you this demo of Starlight, did you have any contact with him in connection with the song Starlight?
No.
When he got to your house, what did Mr. Temperton do in connection with the song Thriller?
He came with a keyboard machine, and I kind of admired the way he worked. He had all the sounds already programmed inside the machine. So when he MIDI'd the sounds to another keyboard or to the main board that's in the studio, which is the audio board. They would play the sounds and the performance that he had performed somewhere else. It could have been Switzerland or Germany. So all the parts were there inside that machine, done and performed already.
At some point, did you learn the song Thriller or Starlight at the time? Let me withdraw that. At some time, did you learn the song Starlight?
Yes.
How did you learn it?
He just sang, well, he sings it on a tape, and it's his voice singing against a demo.
And again, what was the name of the song when it was on that demo?
Starlight Sun.
In your performance of what eventually became Thriller, did you make any changes in connection with your performance and the music?
Not that I can think of.
Did you play any role whatsoever in writing the music underlying the lyrics in Thriller that go, it's close to midnight and something evil's lurking in the dark?
No.
Who wrote the lyrics for Thriller?
Rod Temperton.
Who has writing credit for Thriller?
Rod Temperton.
Do you get any writing credit for Thriller?
No.
Before this lawsuit, did you ever hear a song entitled Run on Man-Child?
No.
At any time, Mr. Jackson, did you give Rod Temperton music from someone else so that Rod Temperton could put that music in Thriller?
No.
Turning to another subject, you realize that Joseph Jackson is one of the defendants in this case?
I heard.
Who's Joseph Jackson?
My father.
At any time in your professional career, has Joseph Jackson ever provided music that you or your group would perform for recording purposes?
Repeat your question.
Yeah. At any time during your professional career, has Joseph Jackson ever had any role in selecting the songs that you or your group would perform?
No.
Did Joseph Jackson ever give you any music written by Raynard Jones?
No.
Did he ever give you any music written by Robert Smith or Cliff Rubin?
No.
Joseph Jackson have any role in creating Rod Temperton's Thriller?
No.
Finally, I'd like to turn to We Are the World. Who wrote the song We Are the World, Mr. Jackson?
I wrote We Are the World, and Lionel Richie also helped.
How did you become involved with We Are the World?
Quincy Jones called me on the phone. I was in my bedroom in Encino, and he said, Smelly, he calls me Smelly. He said, Smelly, we need a song for the children of the world. There are a lot of children dying, and I want you and Lionel Richie to go in and write a song. I asked Stevie Wonder to write a song, but it's taken him quite some time. You know how Stevie is, he said. He said he's brilliant, but it takes him quite a while to get going. I said, Quincy, I just finished Thriller. I just spent all that time in the studio. I don't feel like it. And he said, but it would be very important for the children. As soon as he said that, he knew how I feel about children and how important that is to me. So I said, I'll do it. And so I got together with Lionel, and we got together and goofed off for 2 days doing nothing, just making fun of each other and being silly, because we go way back since I was like 8 years old or something.
How'd you meet Lionel Richie?
He used to open up for my group, Jackson 5, on our early tours as the Commodores. And then after he would perform, he would go out front and hold the fans back. So he was like a bodyguard at the same time, in front of the stage, holding back all the kids. So we had a pretty good relationship, and we laughed about old times. So we had a lot of catching up to do. So we talked and laughed and threw things at each other and joked around and didn't get anything done. Then on the third day, I think it was the third day, I woke up with this melody in my head.
Did Mr. Ritchie bring any melody to you at any time?
Yes, Lionel brought something to me. He had something in his head that he had as well.
What was that? Can you sing it?
Yes, he had, I think he played it on tape. And he sang it to me. This is what he played. He said, "This is all I have, and I hope you like it." It went da-dee-da-da-dum, da-dee-da-da-dum, and that was it.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I said, "That's nice."
And then what happened?
I said, "Well, listen to this." And I played him what I, no, that's not what happened. I said, "I have something in my head that I have as well." I said, "But I want to go in the studio and put it all together first, and then I'll let you hear it." So I went in the studio and put all the sounds down. There comes a time when we heed a certain call, da-da-da, the whole thing, the bridge. And
Could you briefly demonstrate how you went through that creative process? Well, let me back up. Did you ever put what your ideas for We Are the World into a tape recorder?
yes, I did.
Do you know where that tape is?
No. I never keep up with my tapes. I'm not organized in that way.
Can you demonstrate for us, just briefly, how you created some of the music that you created for We Are the World?
Okay. I strongly remember getting on my knees and praying to God, thanking Him for the melody that came into my head, because I was pleased with it when I woke up that morning. I said, "This is so lovely." And I went to the tape recorder and I put it down, and it was da 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 da. Da 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 dee da da dee da 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 da. Then I put in that part, da 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 da.
When you say that part, the part that...
Which is the part that Lionel brought. Da 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 dee da dee da 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 da. Then I added again, da 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 da. Da da dee da da dum, which is the part I added on. Da da dee da dee da 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 dee da da dum.
Did you also work on the harmony?
The harmonies, I did just the way I did The Girl Is Mine, no different. I did the strings, and I did the bass, and I did the chords, and the bridge, the same way, the same law, and letting it create itself.
Did you eventually make a demo of We're the World?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember where that was?
I can't find that tape to this day. I wish I knew where it was. I'd like to hear it just to have some laughs.
Did you go to a studio to make the demo?
Yeah, it was a studio in the valley.
Was there an engineer there at the studio? What was the name of? Let me back up. What was the name of the studio? Do you recall?
It's for you or who? Thanks. Red Wing. I think that was the name of it.
And you recall what the engineer said? Let me back up. Was there an engineer?
Yes.
What happened next? Well, let me stop. Let me play you just a brief portion of tape marked Exhibit 486, previously identified.
And there seems no hope at all. If you just believe, there's no way we can fall.
The bridge.
We didn't mention truth yet.
No, we did. We haven't mentioned the love, I don't think, in this state.
You recognize Exhibit 486, Mr. Jackson?
Yes,
What is it?
that's the bridge to We Are the World.
Do you hear anybody talking on the tape?
Sounds like Lionel.
Let me play you a little more and just a little bit more.
No, the truth we have mentioned. Love we have mentioned. Right? We hit truth in the last part, last verse. So far we haven't mentioned truth.
That someone cares in their life.
You also on that tape?
Yes.
How did you come to create Exhibit 486, this tape?
How did I create it?
Yeah, how did it happen that what was going on was being taped?
Because at some point, I said, I want to just tape some of what we're doing so we can just have it, you know.
What were you and Mr. Ritchie doing on that tape?
Singing, goofing off.
Were you writing any of the songs at the time?
Not really. We kind of goof off a lot. As God has shown us,
Play a little more.
by turning stones to bread,
So we all must lend a helping hand.
we are the world, we are the children, we are the one. Yeah, we lead ourselves into it singing and help us to give. So let's start giving. There's a chance we're taking. We're taking our lives. It's true, we'll make a brighter day, just you and me. When you're down and out, and there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's no way we can fall. And the only way, and the only truth.
Playing a little more, does that refresh your recollection as to whether or not you and Mr. Ritchie were working on any part of the song?
Yes, I was reciting the bridge.
Let me play just a little bit more.
Let us understand.
Let us understand.
It's going to take you and me. Let us
It's
understand.
we who have the... How about that?
Let us all understand.
Can you tell me now, listening to more, whether you and Mr. Ritchie were working on any part of We Are the World?
Yes, working on, I don't know if it was lyrics or what. I think the lyrics, we kind of fooled around with the lyrics after we're creating the melody.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, before this lawsuit was filed, did you ever hear of a song called What Will Become of the Children?
No.
Did you copy anyone's song in writing We Are the World?
No.
Did Mr. Ritchie?
No.
Did you and Lionel Richie together and with no one else write We Are the World?
Say that again?
Yes. Did you and Mr. Ritchie, and only you and Mr. Ritchie, write We Are the World?
That's the truth.
I have no further questions.
Would you please state your name?
Michael Joseph Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, would you spell your last name?
Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, do you know a person by the name of Raynard Jones?
I've heard of the name Raynard Jones.
Have you simply heard of it, or do you know the person?
Do I know the person? I've met him.
When did you first meet him?
I don't remember.
How long have you known him?
I don't remember.
Did you first meet him in Los Angeles?
No.
Did you first meet him in Detroit?
No.
Did you first meet him in New York?
No.
Where did you first meet him?
I think Indiana.
What part of Indiana?
I think Gary, Indiana.
Did you live in Gary, Indiana at one time?
Yes.
Okay. Were you in fact born in Gary, Indiana?
Yes.
Under what circumstances did you meet Raynard Jones?
I don't remember.
But you did meet him in Gary, Indiana. That's your recollection, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't recall under what circumstances you met him. Is that correct?
I don't know.
You don't know what? You don't know what, Mr. Jackson?
Under what circumstances?
Okay. Have you ever discussed music and songs with Raynard Jones?
Not that I remember.
Is it that you have not discussed music or songs with Raynard Jones, or is it that you don't remember whether you've discussed songs and music with Raynard Jones?
I don't remember.
What? What is it that you don't remember?
Discussing music or songs with Raynard Jones.
Okay. Do you recall ever having any conversations with Raynard Jones?
Yes.
Okay. Approximately how many conversations do you recall that you've had with Raynard Jones?
I don't know.
Okay. Are they too numerous to recall?
I don't know.
So they may be too numerous for you to recall, is that right?
No.
You just don't recall?
I don't recall.
Would it have been more than 5?
Could be.
More than 10?
I'm not sure.
More than 15?
I'm not sure.
20?
I'm not sure.
Do you know where any of these conversations took place?
No.
Do you know whether anyone else was present when these conversations took place?
No.
Have you ever rehearsed any songs with Raynard Jones in any location?
Yes.
Where?
I think at his house
Okay. And where would that have been?
in Indiana.
Is that Gary, Indiana?
Yes.
On how many occasions did you rehearse songs with Raynard Jones at his house in Gary, Indiana?
I don't remember.
On the occasions that you rehearsed songs with Raynard Jones at his home in Gary, Indiana, did you also discuss those songs with him?
No.
You just rehearsed. Is that correct?
As I remember.
As you remember what?
What you just said.
As you remember, you just rehearsed and did not discuss songs with him?
Yes.
When you were growing up in Gary, Indiana, did you ever perform at Roosevelt High School?
Yes.
Did you ever perform with Raynard Jones at Roosevelt High School?
Yes.
Has Raynard Jones ever visited with you outside of Gary, Indiana?
I think he came to California.
Okay. And did he ever visit with you and or members of your family at your residence on Havenhurst?
Yes.
Do you recall how many times that he did that?
No.
Mr. Jackson, do you ever recall whether Raynard Jones visited at your property on Havenhurst while you were there?
I'm not positive.
Did he or did he not visit while you were there?
I'm not sure.
Do you recall Raynard Jones visiting the Havenhurst property accompanied by 2 other individuals?
I don't know.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Jones never visited the Havenhurst property while you were present?
I'm not sure.
All right. Other than Motown, did you sign with any other record company?
No.
Is it your testimony here today that you didn't sign a contract with CBS Records?
Did I sign with CBS Records? Is that what you're asking me?
That was the question.
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not sure.
Did your father have anything to do with the signing of the contract with CBS Records?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure whether he was involved in any manner?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask the question. Was your father, to your knowledge, involved in any manner or form in the signing of the contract between you, your brothers, and CBS?
Yes.
Okay. In what way?
I don't know.
Now, you know that he was involved, but you don't know in what way he was involved?
Exactly.
Mr. Jackson, do you have or have you ever had a collection of musical materials?
A collection of musical materials?
Yes, or a collection.
I love going to the record store to buy records.
I'm sorry?
I love going to the record store to buy records.
The question to you is, did you at any time have a collection of musical materials?
A collection that I buy from the music store.
Okay. Did that collection include materials from any other source other than the material that you purchased from a music store?
No.
When did you first begin keeping this collection?
I don't remember.
Mr. Jackson, the collection, have you ever maintained a collection of musical materials that included unreleased songs?
That I've written.
Have you ever maintained a musical collection that contained unreleased songs written by anyone else?
No.
In 1977, did you maintain a collection of musical materials?
My favorite record store is Tower Records. I collect cassettes and CDs from Tower Records.
Would you read back my last question, please?
Question: in 1977, did you maintain a collection of musical materials?
Same answer.
Yes or no? Did you or didn't you? Did you?
No.
You didn't maintain a collection in 1977. Is that right?
Music that I buy from the record store.
So you can, in 1977, you maintain a collection of music which you purchased from a record store. Is that right?
77, 78, 79, 76. It's part of, I love music. I buy records.
So you did maintain a collection of songs that you purchased from a music store, right? In 1977.
Yes.
Okay. Where did you keep your musical materials that you purchased from the music store?
Everywhere.
There was no particular location?
No.
Okay. They were strewn everywhere. Is that it?
Thrown about.
Okay.
I'm not organized in that way.
Did you ever receive in the mail cassettes with songs on them from other people?
No.
Is there anything in your musical collection which you did not create?
Of course.
Cassettes with songs on them through the mail from other people?
Not that I remember.
Have you ever, during the period in question, Mr. Jackson, received cassette tapes and lead sheets and/or lead sheets from any other person?
Repeat that question.
Question, have you ever, during the period in question, Mr. Jackson, received cassette tapes and lead sheets and/or lead sheets from any other person?
During what period?
1977 through 1985.
No.
Prior to 1977, did you receive cassettes or lead sheets in the mail from other persons?
No.
Subsequent to 1985, have you received cassettes and lead sheets from individuals through the mail?
I don't remember.
Is it your testimony, Mr. Jackson, that you have never received cassettes and lead sheets through the mail from other individuals?
No.
Is that your testimony?
Testimony.
Your testimony that you have not?
I have not.
Mr. Jackson, I'll refer you once again to your deposition dated October the 19th, 1989. Refer you to page 138. Question at line 23. Do you receive material from other songwriters? Answer at line 25. Do I? Continuing on 139. Line 1, question, yes. Line 2, answer, I used to.
Songs that I've recorded.
The material that you received in the mail, cassettes or lead sheets, what did you do with them?
I just don't remember getting things in the mail.
Draw your attention to page 139 of your deposition, volume 1. Line 25, question, would you receive tapes in the mail or lead sheets in the mail or lyric sheets in the mail or reel-to-reel tapes in the mail? Answer on page 140, line 3, yes. But no, I wouldn't dare take the time and listen. I'd just throw them away. If that's what you said, is that what you did?
Yes.
So you did receive cassettes and lead sheets in the mail from other people. Is that correct?
I'm foggy on that. I don't quite remember.
Now, when you would receive these materials in the mail, would you throw them away?
If I got any songs in the mail, I would never listen to them.
My question to you is, the songs that you received in the mail, did you throw them away?
Absolutely.
And how did you get rid of them?
I don't remember.
Is it your testimony that while you received cassettes of songs in the mail that you never listened to those cassettes?
Repeat your question.
Question, is it your testimony that while you received cassettes of songs in the mail, that you never listened to those cassettes?
I believe I had a question before the witness. Will the reporter read that question back, please?
The question, is it your testimony that while you received cassettes of songs in the mail, that you never listened to those cassettes?
Any cassettes that come to me personally in the mail, which is very rare, I throw them away. And our policy of tapes come to the office that are songs written by other people, we simply send them back. If I'm on the street, if I'm in a record store, and somebody has a song, and he comes up to me and he says, Michael, I'm a songwriter. I want to make it like you. Listen to my song. I say, I can't take your tape. I simply do not take tapes. I'm a songwriter myself. I write my own songs. I don't have to take other people's songs.
My question to you is it true that the songs that you received in the mail that you
Sorry.
that you did not listen to them?
I do not listen to them.
Mr. Jackson, does the collection that you have consist of songs that you have started but you didn't like, and you let them go or you dropped them?
There are certain songs that I have that I've written that I just think aren't good enough, or I like it at the time, and then something will come along that'll beat that song out. That'll be stronger to me. So it'll just leave that song there. It's just there.
So your answer is yes?
Yes to what?
To the question.
What's the question?
Please read it back.
I'm sorry.
Question, Mr. Jackson. Does the collection that you have consist of songs that you have started but you didn't like, and you let them go or you dropped them?
Let them go. I don't understand the terminology you're using. Can you rephrase it?
What does your collection consist of?
Songs that I've written?
My question is, what does your collection consist of?
I'm trying so hard to answer it. You mean the songs that I've written?
No. My question to you is, you have a collection. What does the collection consist of?
Glenn Campbell, Johnny Mathis, the Carpenters, the Eagles, Who else do I like? Stevie Wonder. I love the Bee Gees. I love James Brown, Aretha Franklin, all the old Motown stuff from the 60s. You want me to keep going?
Well, if you choose to.
Okay, what else? I love Herman's Hermits. I love the Beatles. I love a lot. The Sherman Brothers, who I think are very good. Who else do I like? I said Stevie Wonder. That's all that I can think of right now.
Are any of the songs that you've worked on, your personal songs, included in your collection?
And that's what I was asking you before. Now, could you repeat your question?
Read the question back.
One that I read previous.
My last question, which is probably the one that you read previously.
Question, Mr. Jackson. Does the collection that you have consist of songs that you have started but you didn't like, and you let them go or you dropped them?
Let them go. I just don't understand what that means.
Mr. Jackson, I call your attention to Volume 1 of your deposition taken October 19th, 1989, page 129. Question at line 6. What does your collection consist of? Answer at line 7. Songs I work on. Songs that I have started and didn't like it that much, so I just let it go. And there's just classical music I buy, like a great song that I enjoy listening to. Show tunes, Rodgers and Hammerstein, Chuck Berry. Do you recall that question and giving that answer?
That sounds like me.
My question is, do you recall that question and do you recall giving that answer?
No.
So then, what is the answer contained in your deposition? Is that accurate or not?
It sounds accurate.
Okay, and did you give that answer?
It sounds like something I would have said.
My question to you is, did you give that answer?
Objection asking.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, so you gave that answer.
Yes.
All right.
I forgot Rodgers and Hammerstein. I love them.
Now, with regard to your collection, other than what you've already testified to, does that collection include the works of any other party or person?
The works of any other party or person? Yes, I like.
Now, I'm not asking you a question about what you like. I'm asking you about what's included in your collection. You've told us a number, you've mentioned a number of names of individuals and groups.
Yes.
Including songs that you work on that are included in your collection. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other persons whose works that you have not mentioned are included in your collection?
No.
Is it true, Mr. Jackson, that you started to sing "The Girl Is Mine" into a tape recorder?
Yes.
And have we heard that tape today?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, you've indicated that you started to sing "The Girl Is Mine" into a tape recorder. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you've also testified that we have heard that tape today. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that Exhibit 489?
I don't know.
Now, Mr. Jackson, is that the original tape that you made for "The Girl Is Mine"? Exhibit 489, which you've heard, is that an accurate description or depiction of the original tape that you made for "The Girl Is Mine"?
Sounds like it to me.
How long have you had that tape?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I don't remember.
Was there a time when that tape was lost?
I don't remember.
Was there a time when you didn't know where that tape was?
Don't remember.
Sorry?
Don't remember.
Mr. Jackson, I call your attention to your deposition taken October the 19th, 1989, page 128. Question, line 20. When you say "there it was," what do you mean by that? Answer at line 22. I started to sing in the tape recorder. Line 23, question. Do you still have that tape? Line 24, answer. I don't have it personally. It's somewhere. To page 129, question. Do you know where it is? Line 2, answer. No. Do you recall those questions being asked and you're giving those answers in your deposition taken on October the 19th, 1989?
No.
Do you recall the question at page 129, you don't know who has it? Answer at line 4, no, it must be in my collection somewhere at home. Do you recall that question and that answer?
I don't remember.
What is it that you don't remember?
What you just asked.
Okay. You don't remember saying that you don't know who has it?
Repeat your question.
You don't remember saying you don't know who has it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember saying that?
Don't remember.
You don't remember saying that?
That's right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
You remember saying in answer to the question, do you know where it is? No. Do you recall that answer?
No.
Mr. Jackson, with regard to the songs that you received in the mail from other people, did you return those songs?
I answered that question.
My question to you is, did you return any of the songs that you received in the mail?
I threw them away.
Did you keep a log of any kind or a record of any of the tapes that you received in the mail?
No.
Do you also consider Mr. Jones to be disloyal?
Yes.
Do you feel that Mr. Jones owes you some loyalty?
I think he owes honesty.
Would you say that you also owe honesty?
I'm being very honest.
That's not my question. Do you feel that you owe honesty?
I am honest.
So then when you say, is it your testimony that Mr. Jones is dishonest?
Absolutely.
Okay. Why do you say that he is dishonest?
Because he knows in his heart that he didn't write those songs.
Which songs are you referring to?
The songs that you're referring to.
No. The question is, which songs are you referring to, Mr. Jackson?
The Girl Is Mine. We Are the World. And Thriller.
So is it your testimony that Mr. Jones is claiming that he wrote The Girl Is Mine?
Yes.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Jones is saying that he wrote We Are the World?
Yes.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Jones is saying that he wrote Thriller?
Yes.
And it is on that basis that you conclude that Mr. Jones is dishonest, is that correct?
Absolutely.
In October of 1989, did you discuss this lawsuit with Bill Bray?
I don't remember.
By the way, who is Bill Bray?
He's head of security
For whom?
for MJJ Productions,
And who is MJJ Productions?
my company.
Okay, and what does MJJ Productions do?
It's an office that administrates my personal affairs.
How long, and Mr. Bray is employed by MJJ Productions?
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Okay. But he works for MJJ Productions?
Yes, he does.
And so his working for MJJ Productions, is it your contention that that's different from him being employed by MJJ Productions?
What's your question?
You said he works for MJJ Productions, is that right?
Yes.
Previously I asked you, was he employed by MJJ Productions? Recall that question?
Yes.
Do you recall what your answer was?
Well, what's the answer?
I'm asking you the question. Do you recall?
Yes.
What was the answer?
Was he employed by MJJ Productions?
That was the question.
The answer is yes.
How long has Mr. Bray been employed by MJJ Productions?
I'm not sure.
Prior to your move to California or after you moved to California?
I'm really not sure.
Is it your testimony that you don't recall the conversation with Bill Bray concerning Raynard Jones and this particular lawsuit in October of 1989?
No.
Did you ever talk to Bill Bray about the deposition that you gave on October the 19th, 1989?
I don't remember.
Do Do you recall the deposition taken October 19, 1989? This question, page 17, line 2. Anybody else that you talked to other than your lawyers about this deposition today? Answer at line 4, security. Question at line 5, who is that? Answer at line 6, Bill Bray and some of the guys of studio. Question at line 7, what did you talk to Bill Bray about? Do you recall those questions and giving those answers?
No.
Did you answer the questions as I've read them to you on October the 19th, 1989?
I must have.
Do you recall the nature of your conversation with Bill Bray concerning this lawsuit and your deposition in October 1989?
No.
You recall this question at page 17 of your deposition taken on October the 19th, 1989, line 7. What did you talk to Bill Bray about? Answer at line 8. The nature of the conversation was Bill was very disappointed this is happening. So was I, because it's very sad, because it's not true. Do you recall those questions and those answers?
No.
Did you give that answer starting at line 8, page 17 through line 10 at your deposition on October the 19th?
I must have.
To your knowledge, does Bill Bray know Raynard Jones?
Pardon?
To your knowledge, does Bill Bray know Raynard Jones?
Do I have knowledge that Bill knows Raynard Jones?
My question was, to your knowledge,
Oh.
does Bill Bray know Raynard Jones?
I'm not sure.
Have you ever been in the presence of Bill Bray and Raynard Jones at the same time?
Not that I can remember.
Do you recall testifying that the conversation with Bill Bray took place at the hideout?
No.
Call your attention to your deposition, October 19th, 1989, page 18. Question at line 2, what did you say to Bill Bray? Answer at line 3, I'm not sure. Question at line 4, did you say anything to him? Answer at line 5, in agreement. It was some words in agreement. Line 7, was that in a face-to-face conversation? Answer at line 8, yes. Question, where? Answer at line 10, at the hideout. Does that refresh your recollection as to where your conversation with Bill Bray took place?
Yes.
Okay, and did it take place at the hideout?
It must have, if that's what I said.
What did Bill Bray say to you about Raynard Jones in that conversation?
I don't remember.
Same deposition, October 19th, 1989, line 17. Question, line 14. What did you say to Bill and what did he say to you? Answer, line 16. Well, Bill said, the nature of this, here's a guy who's never had a hit record, and he's trying to claim that he's written a great song, that type of thing. Do you recall that question and giving that answer?
Kind of.
you agree with the statement made by Bill Bray?
Absolutely.
Why did you agree with this statement?
Why do I agree with the statement?
Why did you agree with this statement?
Because it's true.
What part was true?
He knows in his heart that he did not write those songs. He knows that.
Mr. Jackson, you testified on direct examination that Lionel Richie stated to you that you write songs quickly. You could write an album in 1 week. Do you recall that?
Yes.
When did you first receive the call from Quincy Jones with regard to creating a song that ultimately became We Are the World?
I don't remember.
From the time that you received the request from Mr. Jones, when did you begin work on your part of that composition?
I don't remember working on it, really.
What was your response, Mr. Jackson?
I don't remember working on it, really.
Did you work on music that ultimately became known as We Are the World?
Yes.
So you, okay. How soon after you received the call from Mr. Quincy Jones was it that you began that work?
I don't remember.
How long after the call from Mr. Quincy Jones did you contact anyone else concerning that work, which would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
I don't remember.
How soon after you received the call from Quincy Jones was it before you contacted Lionel Richie with regard to working a song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
I'm sorry, could you read the question?
Really?
Question, how soon after you received the call from Quincy Jones was it before you contacted Lionel Richie with regard to working on a song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
I don't think I called Lionel.
Okay, so you didn't call him. Did he call you?
No, I think Quincy did.
Quincy called who?
Lionel Richie.
Did there come a time when you and Mr. Richie talked on the telephone about We Are the song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Did there come a time when you and Mr. Richie met to work on a song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
Yes.
When was that?
I don't remember.
How many times did you and Mr. Richie work on a song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
I don't remember. For sure, I don't remember.
Where did you and Mr. Richie work on the song that would ultimately become known as We Are the World?
My house.
Any place else?
Well, and teaching everybody all the different parts, how to sing the song, all the different celebrities. A&M Studios, I think.
Mr. Jackson, just up there, how are you feeling?
That's good.
We take a break.